Hi, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Josh. I'm your official Web Summit English teacher. No, I'm joking. I'm your unofficial Web Summit English teacher, and I'm coming here for some pre-conference networking tips and some English phrases to help you along with your conversations. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to take a few minutes here and give you some of the best phrases, words, tips, and advice to help you along, especially if your first language is not English and or if you are an introvert, an introverted person. Now, nobody knows an introverted tech person or engineer, do they? I do. Most people, actually, most engineers and tech people, they're typically on the computer. Sometimes they're conversating, but face-to-face conversation and extroversion and really quick networking conversations where you want to get a lot done, those are typically for the experts, for the sales and marketing people, for the really active people that are in different fields. This session is for you introverts, and for you non-native speakers of English who are going to Web Summit or other tech conferences, okay? Now, this is a really shortened version of this training, but don't worry, we will have a post-conference networking and speaker discussion. So we're going to invite some of the speakers, some of them will be keynote speakers, and you can come and have short discussions with them. So, and also group discussions. So you're going to be able to network with people after the conference on our site and through our app, which is great because we also give you personalized English speaking feedback based on your conversations and networking, okay? And that's through our app that I'm going to show you real quick. Now, let's get right to it without further ado. Here's this guy, and he's an introvert. He decided not to go to the conference because he's an introvert. Look, 53%, not just, he put out a poll here. Going, I have tickets. Going, I don't have tickets. Not going, and sorry, I'm an introvert, sir. This is the kind of language and people in the tech world talk about. This was for a blockchain conference. So we see that this problem is huge because that's the most prominent answer is that I'm not going because I'm an introvert. Okay. Now, the conferences are the best place to get networking, get new contacts, get investment, get sales. And, you want to go. You want to have your tech people there as well, not just your marketing and sales, because they can maybe even build products and services and explain things, much like a sales engineer if you don't have sales engineers. So it's a really good thing to get everybody on board with networking. Okay, first thing, what is synergetics education in the network here? I'm going to move this camera around to the best position. Well, conference networking in English, it's already difficult if you're not a native speaker, even more difficult if you're an introvert, even more difficult if you spend most of your time on so-called social media, which is not so social because it's not really face-to-face or even online live. Today, we're going to look at a three-step approach that works at conferences, summits, as well as some of the specific phrases used in tech conferences so that you can network with somebody and move forward with the conversation if you want to, or move on if you don't want to continue the conversation. You see, this is really important because a lot of people will hold you for a long conversation, and before you know it, it's 30 minutes has gone by. You haven't learned anything. You're not further with a collaboration or a sale or anything like that. And then there you go, 30 minutes lost. And this is a very precious time because you only have a couple days at the conference. And this is an interactive workshop usually, but tonight I'm going to just give out this to the public and just give you the tips. Okay, it's Synergetics Education LLC. I'm the co-founder and CEO, and I love networking, and I love going to conferences. And I've been to 50 different conferences in the last 2 years, all over the world, 20 different countries. I've been a speaker, a keynote speaker. I've been a participant. I've been a contributor. I've done workshops, hackathons, all that stuff. And I still look as young as I do. How about that? So here we go. There's a long and difficult process ahead. Start right away. just get into the speech. Just start talking with people. Hi, I'm Josh from Synergetics Education. What brings you here? That's the simplest way. Hi, I'm here because it's a free vacation to Lisbon. Of course, make a joke. That's the easy way to break the ice. Or you could even start, instead of telling people who you are, better ask a question. What brings you to this conference? Hey, which speakers are you interested in? That's a question I like to ask, because then I get some knowledge about which speakers I might want to go to. For example, Websummit, there's like 500 speakers, and so I don't know which ones to go to. And which ones are you interested in? Well, the one that gives me an insight into some of the interesting speakers, but more importantly, it gives me insight into that person. You see? Because they're going to go to speakers that are in their industry. So I immediately know, one, what they're interested in and what their industry is, simply by asking them a question. Hey, which speaker are you going to go see today, or which panel? So you can use the first seconds in the first question to open the dialogue in a non-traditional way of saying, hello, my name is, how are you today? Like a mechanical robot. And you can just be a human being and ask them a question or make a joke, And so if you want to start your pitch out, say, oh, well, then they ask, well, who are you? Well, I'm a former professor from New York who owns an innovative language school that helps professionals worldwide master English in their niche within a few hours. There you go. That's what I do. That's what we're doing. And you can catch Synergetics on the 16th of November with our own booth in the startups section. So we are part of the Alpha Startups. I'm really proud to be there, and we're launching our new app. That's an AI-assisted feedback app that you'll see in a second. We cover topics like leadership and tech sales. And we are piloting a new product that helps people master conference communication in their industry effortlessly. And use our app to get AI-assisted advanced English feedback from every conversation. Now, that's pretty cool 30-second intro, isn't it? They know which company I'm working for. I've named it. I said what I do specifically, what value I provide to customers. I've given specific examples, and I've told them what I'm here to do. I'm here to launch this amazing AI-assisted speaking feedback app. So they know within my first 30 seconds whether they want to continue talking to me or not. And of course, who doesn't want to continue talking to an English teacher whose only interest is to help you get excellent feedback on without any cost? All right? So the conversation could go on for at least for another minute. But here's how the person could respond. Oh, I heard about that. It's so needed for conferences. So this person's validating me. They say, oh, yes, what you do is important. I'm new to AI in education, and I'm trying to figure out the space because my company wants to enter the AI world. So this person in the networking has responded specifically to something I mentioned in my introduction. They've got relevance, and they've shown that they love learning, and they want to hear more about it. Isn't that a nice conversation? It's nice, it's short. And then I would say, oh, well, we can discuss that. Tell me about your company then. You see? So now we're getting back and forth. We're getting to know each other right away. Within 2 minutes, we understand if there's going to be a connection, a collaboration. And if not, that's fine. That's okay. But the main thing is we're not wasting each other's time. We're giving each other positive encouragement. We're making each other feel good. And at the same time, we're getting right to the point smoothly. All right? You don't want to be boring, because then you're going to be boring and people are going to lose interest after a couple seconds. So here's the question. Who are you and what interests do we share besides AI? So in this last conversation example, I put it up. And what do you know? We both have a shared interest. We could talk about that. Or they're going to tell me about their company. I told them about mine already. Maybe we can find a different area where Maybe we need each other's services. Maybe we can collaborate on a project. Maybe not. Maybe they know somebody I should meet. Okay. Or maybe I know somebody they should meet. We should keep these things in mind to provide value for the people that we're networking with, if value is warranted. Okay. And I'm not going to go into the details here in this session because I'm just going to take a few minutes to show you what we got going on, and then let you meet you at the conference. So again, I'm going to be at the conference, and my area is blockchain and crypto, but I'm doing a big event at the LX Factory on the 13th of November, Monday night at LX Factory. You're welcome to come, and we're going to have amazing food, drinks, speakers, DJ, party, everything's going on there. And then I'm going to be promoting my company in this really cool app that you see right in front of you. And what is this app? This is a Synergetics education speaking feedback app. This is something that we've been working on a while. And now with the large language models, it's just enabled us to really take it to the next level. And so what it does is that you just hit that button, that record button, boom, and you record the conversation while you're talking, while you're networking, while you're doing whatever, while you're speaking in a monologue, while you're looking in front of the mirror, while you're speaking to your mom, while you're speaking to your English friend, while you're speaking to your boss. You can just record yourself. And then when you hit stop, it's going to analyze it. A couple seconds later, you got this comparative transcript where it gives your English compared with side by side with a native speaker English. And it's going to be an improved version with more sophisticated language. So it's a learning tool as well as to help you evaluate the accuracy of your speech. Now, this is going to include not only this comparison, but now what you see, it's going to include an error analysis. It's going to tell you the frequency of your errors, which the most frequency, the things that you repeat. I'm sure I've repeated several things already in this conversation here. And then it's going to give you areas and tips for improvement. Now, what we have with this app, and we're building this further, is tips for specific purposes. So if you're a networker and you put in, I'm going to have a conversation about networking, then bam, it's going to not only give you your English error feedback and analysis, but it's going to give you tips related to networking English, networking skills, okay? And so this is going to be a situational speaking app. This is something brand new. Nobody's ever done it before. We are ahead of the game by at least 2 weeks. Okay. Well, I said 3 steps. Well, there's step 0. Step 0, download the English speaking feedback app, and it's available at EnglishSpeakingFeedback.com. EnglishSpeakingFeedback.com. So get step 0 done. Bam. Then you're going to get your personal AI tutor English feedback. Nobody's going to know except you. Next thing is practice some of the language for networking. Here's some phrases. Can you introduce me to? I realize that you're a person that I don't necessarily have a potential further agreement with, but you know maybe this guy or maybe this other person. Maybe you can give me an introduction. That's the best way to get into the door. Hey, here's an easy one. Let's connect on LinkedIn. I've connected with people on LinkedIn in the elevator within 2 floors going down, okay? I've connected with people on LinkedIn. I'm not going to tell you, but let's just say that men in men's rooms, they stand side by side. Okay, I'm joking. But okay, here's another one. Do you have a business card? Yeah, here you go. Okay, good. Here another one. Hey, you know what? We had a great conversation. I'd like to schedule a meeting. Or you know what? We both share the same interest. I'd like to schedule a meeting. Easy enough. Let's schedule right now. Let's get it right in the calendar right now. Not just a LinkedIn thing and then 2 weeks and then I forget about you. Let's go ahead and schedule it. Okay. How about this one? Oh, wow. You know, you do this. Synergetics education. That sounds very interesting. What's your elevator pitch? Oh, I just gave it to you. Well, let's set up a coffee meeting. That's a nice thing to say. Coffee rather than drinks. Why? Because the person might not drink. 2, you might not drink. 3, coffee's a nice thing that you typically do during the daytime. And so it's a working relationship kind of thing. Do you attend any industry events? Hey, man, get the insight, right? Oh, what other industry events are you going to, or did you go to this year? Here's one. We should collaborate on a project. You know, there's this synergy between us, this vibe, we got the same ideas. You know, there's nothing now, but we should collaborate on something. Let's start the ball rolling. Let's get the conversation going. And that gives that person that future orientation to communicate and contact you. Okay, I'm looking for potential partners. And that's true. I'm looking for potential partners, buddy. I'm looking for partners that are going to need our services, but also partners that I can support for their services. You know, the partnership game is very, very important in tech and in business. And so, hey, you be explicit. You don't say, I'm looking for customers. Everybody's looking for customers. So you don't want to say that, but you want to say, I'm looking for partners, because partnership is really a way to move business forward on both sides. And then the last one, the most obvious one, could I have your contact information? Could you share your contact information with me? You see, you're asking the person to share instead of saying, give me. Well, give me your contact. Could you share your contact information with me? All right, so you can speak in a way that's different. Now, just practice these phrases 10 times each, and then you'll have it down. But remember to do it in the context, if you can. Oops. Here's step 2. Give and share knowledge. So once you get the basic networking thing done, you know, you can always use buzzwords and indicate who you are, what you know, but don't be a know-it-all. Don't talk for too long. I was a professor, so I know all about talking too long. And I know about other people that talk too long. And I lose my focus. I'm thinking about the other thing. Don't be a know-it-all. You know everything. Be an inquisitive person, a curious person, and then your networking process is going to go a lot easier. Inquiry and responsiveness to learn just as much as you teach. That's the best advice that I or any communication professional could give you. And remember, different cultures communicate differently. French people talk with a lower volume than Italians. Portuguese people have a different culture than Spanish. They even speak a different language, as you know. And so this is the thing to consider. And it might be worth it to do a little bit of research. You can even ask ChatGPT, what are some cultural norms in Portugal that I should follow? Okay. Instead of just going there and, like a lot of people from my country, America, USA, do, is just go there and act like they would with other Americans, not considering that cultures perceive communication differently and they have a different knowledge and cultural base of understanding. That could be offensive. Some things you could say. I know, I offend people all the time. I'm joking. Okay. So I said step 2 would be knowing the buzzwords, right? Know the buzzword, giving and sharing knowledge, knowing the buzzwords, right? And so what are the buzzwords here? Artificial intelligence. So we're talking about web services and web tech industry, AI, IoT, blockchain, cloud computing, big data, cybersecurity, machine learning, augmented reality or AR, or you could say AR, VR. Too many things, right? And then, of course, UX, user experience, is a big deal, right? UX. And then there's a lot more, but these are the basic ones. Now let's look at the second list. Let's take it a step further. Let me minimize my camera here. Let's take it a step further. artificial intelligence. I say I'm working with human-centric AI because our apps are human-centric. They're not trying to code or something like that. They're trying to help humans with their communication skills. So it's human-centric AI. But here's a common augmented or added feature or sub buzzword. Let's call it a sub buzzword: explainable AI. Huh? Explainable AI. Get that. That's a good one. Keep going. Internet of Things. Edge computing, it's often called. Edge computing. Smart contracts, right? Smart contracts are related to blockchain. Oh, yeah, I know about that. Smart contracts, NFTs, crypto, okay? Distributed ledger. These are some common concepts, but everything, Bitcoin, crypto, is only one aspect of blockchain. Don't sound like a fool and confuse the two, okay? Serverless computing is cloud computing, isn't it? You see? In the cloud, serverless. Big data, data analytics. Oh, I work in data analytics. Oh, wow, that's interesting. We're using big data for this or that. Bam, the person already gets that you're connected to them. Let's keep going. Zero trust, that works also with blockchain. They typically say trustless, but cybersecurity is zero trust. That's a common concept related to cybersecurity. Deep learning, deep learning, machine learning, right? Machine learning, spatial reality, like think Apple, they call it the spatial vision or whatever. It's called spatial computing, they call it, or something like that. And so Apple likes to create their own buzzwords, right? And so they made spatial instead of augmented or virtual reality to make it sound like it's something different. But the fact is, it's the same thing. And you can also call it immersive reality. You're immersed in the virtual experience. How about that? You see, so what we've taken is, and then last but not least, personalization. So user experience is personalization, UX or user experience design. So there's always some kind of design in there. And it's always trying to personalize. So now we're taking these general buzzwords and we're adding these around this, okay? So either these collocations or these additional nouns or these additional adverbs to help us so we can sound like we know at least a little bit about these topics. So make sure you look at each one of these topics, know a little bit about it, just the basics, and then your networking is going to go a lot farther, because basically, if you meet somebody in blockchain and you don't know anything about it, well, then the conversation's over right away. But if you know a little bit, then maybe the conversation can go a little bit further where they're interested, and it doesn't have to. So basically, this is a networking exercise. One thing that you can think about, what's one new web concept that you learned in the last 6 months? A lot of people never knew about generative AI or large language models. Since I'm a linguist, I knew about these things for a while, but at the same time, I had no idea that that generative AI was going to literally take over the world in 6 months. And so basically listening is key. And then the step 3 is show interest or move on. So we've got the lingo of networking. We know how to play the field. Then we've worked on our specifics, our buzzwords and our lingo. And now we decide in the conversation if we're going to show interest or move on. And then, of course, I have a conference APE test that I give to people that take the pre-conference networking course, and we won't do that. But basically, there's a lot of different types of APEs, and each one has a personality, and there's kind of people you want to avoid, and there's kind of people that you want to talk to. I'm one of the people that you want to talk to, because even if you don't want to use my services, I'm always listening, taking names, getting ideas about people. I'm a power networker, and power networkers are great connectors. And so if you meet me at the conference, there'll be a high probability that I can connect you with somebody that you want to be connected with in the same day. Okay. And so that is already providing value. Okay. Other people, they might not do that. Some people might just waste your time. So you want to identify who's going to waste your time and who's not pretty quickly. We're not going to go into that in this session, because this is just a preview of what we do for conferences. Okay. You're going to see some amazing stuff. And I want you to come to the post-summit networking online session with Synergetics Education. You're going to get direct contact with speakers. You're going to get small group discussions with people relevant to you and in your area. And you're going to meet at least five new people. And on top of it, get personalized advanced English feedback. So please join us. This is going to be a great thing. I'm going to end with some just general tips for networking for you. Okay? Make eye contact. I'm looking right now at you in the screen. Good way to do that is actually look in the center of their eyes. If you have an issue with eye contact, many cultures do. For example, Japanese might avoid eye contact, but that's not rude. But if you are Japanese, look here in the middle. Imagine there's a dot right there, and then then that makes it easier on you. Focus on the person you're speaking with. Don't look at the really hot guy or girl that just walked by. Don't get distracted. Stay in the conversation. Stay in the moment, and then when you're ready to leave, exit kindly. Repeat the last thing they said before speaking. That way they understand that you're listening, and then you also pick up the conversation where it's at. Seek to understand. I love this Stephen Covey habits, 7 habits, isn't it? Seek to understand before being understood. This is a great sales approach. This is a great management and leadership approach. This is a great approach across business, across academia, every sector in your personal life. Also, try to understand the other person before just talking and telling everything about yourself. Okay? Because then you can actually build a relationship with that person rather than just spitting out whatever it is you want and not even understanding if that person cares or if that person's a relevant person to talk to. So don't waste your time, and don't waste their time. Second, you want to take the other person's perspective. Once you understand that person, show empathy. Show that you understand. Show that if they're uncomfortable or if they're feeling off or anything, if they have a difficult business or if they are anything, you just want to show empathy generally, and that goes a lot farther. Networking, positive attitude, ask questions relevant to your shared interests. We just covered that. Take and give contact details. We've also covered that, and I've given you specific phrases for that as well. Including social media, LinkedIn things. And there's a cool feature on LinkedIn. If you hit the search in your app, and then you look on the search, you'll see a small QR code. You can click that, and then you can have a QR code scan with the other person. I definitely encourage you to try that out on LinkedIn for an immediate scan of that person, an immediate contact request. And then, of course, follow up. If you say you're going to follow up. I've had that problem myself many times. All right, so I'm going to skip along here. And these are the final general tips for good networking. And remember, don't judge by appearances. Even if someone doesn't dress maybe properly, or maybe they don't have great outwardly communication skills, they might be the person you need to talk to anyway. Okay, so don't judge by appearances, and treat every single communication every single person with respect, and every single communication with respect, and you'll be great at networking. And so we have this full course and full opportunity for everybody at the conferences. And so this was at Paris Blockchain Week. And now we have it at Websummit, and then we're going to have a lot of other courses because it's really, really cool. You get to learn industry-specific vocabulary, much more than I taught you today, before the conference. So you go in prepared, you can get more delegates, more networking, more sales, improve all of that stuff while getting AI-assisted feedback from the feedback app during your networking conversations for free. It just doesn't get better than that. And so we have the pre-event, then we have the during event where we can also, in real time, you can ask us a question, and both the AI and a professional networking person, so a person who is an English teacher as well, will give you immediate feedback. So one of the things is asking a question. Nobody wants to get up and ask a question. And the guy, imagine the guy that, you don't know how to formulate the question. You're right there. There's everybody watching. They're in your industry. So before you ask the question, you just send us a message and say, hey, I want to ask this question. What's the best way to ask it? We'll immediately write you back with a way to formulate the question. So you just stand up and say, oh, excuse me, sir, about that thing. And then you ask the question like that. So we'll help you out with that. And then also you can take little mini quizzes and stuff about some of the key points of the different lectures and things like that. AI helps us with a lot of this stuff now. But that's cool because it's a great way to review with a fun activity. And then the thing I'm inviting you all to now is the post-summit or post-conference networking experience, which, like I said, is going to be with some of the speakers, some of the main keynote speakers, as well as others, but you can choose, and then small group discussions, and even maybe one-to-one with different people that are relevant to you. It's a lot better than the conference in some ways because it's a lot less random and much more targeted. So you'll have that, and then you get the NFT. You walk away with a cool NFT as well. So contact me at any time. But again, here's my information, but also you can meet me and my team all around the conference, Synergetics Education. And on the 16th, we will have our own exhibition booth. I want everybody to stop by and at least say hi and at least use one of the phrases that I taught you and one of the buzzwords I taught you. That would make me feel great. It would also give you some practice. All right, looking forward to contacting you and having you both, seeing you at the Web Summit and in the future. All right, have a great day.